I'd much rather roll with Russell Wilson than Aaron Rodgers.
I agree.
This is Russell Wilson is our only option at this point. So I just see it's just going to be Russell Wilson.
I don't see it being only an option though of just signing Russell Wilson. Y'all gotta draft a fucking quarterback. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Y'all could trade up. Nah, yeah. I mean, I'm with TJ on this one. If it ain't Shador or Cam, there's no point taking a shot at quarterback.
There's no point. Yeah. Like, why are we wasting that draft pick? I'd much rather get a D tackle.
All right.
They've been making that D tackle.
Right? Y'all have never, in the Mike Tomlin era, been under 500. Who the fuck are y'all getting next year? It's not like you're going to have a lower.
Are we not paying attention to the draft capital? To the fact we have so many people get signed today for millions of dollars, being top paid money. We're going to get constipatory picks or constipatory picks, whatever.
Those are like third and fourth round picks. We're talking about a quarterback. If y'all don't have a quarterback next year, you're going to need a quarterback next year. So it's like if you don't draft one in the first round and you start first or second, y'all either gonna try to be in the same position next year, where y'all still searching for a quarterback, or you draft a quarterback and start building them up.
Now I actually gotta jump in, and I actually gotta side with TJ on this.
Jump in, brother.
Because like I kind of see what TJ's saying. It's not that desperate for quarterbacks. Like you still have Aaron Rodgers, you have Russell Wilson, and like. If those two guys don't pan out right now, there's not a home for them right now. Like all these positions, like now that I think about it, it's just Tennessee.
Why is there not a home for them?
Why is there
not their play?
I mean, part of it is their play and the money, but a big part of it is like a lot of these quarterbacks got taken up. I mean, I can only think of like the Tennessee Titans who got the number one pick and the Steelers, but I think the Steelers are most likely gonna pick up Russell or Aaron Rodgers. Like I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal who's throwing them the ball because at the end of the day they got talent. I mean, you see like average quarterbacks.
If they pick up Russell and Aaron Rodgers, both of which are over the age of 33.
Yeah.
What are they doing next year?
But they're trying to win now though.
Both of those players are almost about to retire.
Yeah.
And if they're on win now mode and they don't win next year, they're going to be in a position where they're also drafting the top 15 or the later 15 picks in the draft, where people are still next year going to be looking for a quarterback in a quarterback-heavy draft.
But even with a quarterback,
they're still going to be in the same position that they're in this year.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what this veteran quarterback do when they pick him up with more weapons than they had this past season, and also like.
I don't see Russell doing nothing with nobody.
With DK, okay, that's disrespect.
But with DK and GP? No. Okay. Hold on. I gotta stop you there now. Pause.
Yeah.
No.
Last year with DK, what did Russell do?
It's my turn. It's my turn.
Go ahead.
It's my turn. Hold on. Listen. We only had one wide receiver last year. That was GP. And he was mad he wasn't getting enough touches. With one quarterback, one veteran quarterback. Give me 1 year, bro. That's what we're asking for. That's in the position we're in. That's our team right now. Give me 1 year, bro. We'll draft a quarterback next year in the draft. It's going to be a high pick. We know that. I think as Steelers fans, the front office, I think everyone knows we're going to go draft a quarterback next year and just go really high and invest a lot of draft picks into it. We're going to trade up. We're going to be that team that jumps into the top 10. I see that now.
It's hard to trade up when niggas need quarterbacks.
But who's going to be a quarterback this season after next, though?
Everyone. There's multiple teams that need quarterbacks this year. It's just the quarterback class is weak.
Yeah, but there's not that many teams that need quarterback. I mean, honestly,
we can't name 5 teams that need quarterbacks right now.
Go ahead.
Is that what you're saying?
Go ahead.
All right. The Browns, the Titans, the Giants, the Raiders still need a quarterback. Geno is not their fucking future. So we're at 4.
Yes, he is. Hold on. He's there for like 3 years.
Still on it. 3 years.
3 years. And the Giants are drafting a quarterback. So don't
trade for that. What you talking about?
But still, like the Raiders.
How old is Geno Smith?
He's 30-something, I believe. But it don't matter because he's a 3-year deal.
Almost the age as Aaron Rodgers and Russell Wilson. We're watching. on the way out, right?
But
About the same age as we're
but
watching these
they're
quarterbacks
not
that are
gonna
on the way
unless
out.
they're not gonna draft a quarterback next season unless they're just like stinking it up, bro. Like I think the Raiders are gonna be middle of the pack
Geno
team.
is an answer that you just trade for him and
Yes.
not get a younger quarterback?
They paid him.
Yeah, they paid him. Like Geno has value.
That's cool.
Okay,
That's cool. He is a great placeholder quarterback, but you build around, just like how Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers drafted Jordan Love.
And what they do? They let him sit out over here. They
drafted Michael Penix. We see this all the times. Teams are not waiting until their quarterback is gone to get another quarterback.
Yeah, but they're not gonna draft. They're not gonna draft them
so
straight.
They can build up.
Okay, come on.
Then I don't think they're drafting him next year, though. I think that's the point we're making. It's not going to be next year. I don't think it'll be next year.
They're gonna at least give him 2. And you mentioned the Giants.
I don't like how you said, all right, Kalani, Zoe Supreme.
Yeah, Supreme.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to put a $50 bet on it. Next year, the Seahawks draft a quarterback.
You mean the Raiders? You mean the Raiders?
The Raiders, my bad. Sorry, he came from the Seahawks, my bad.
Yeah, that's an easy bet. Yeah. Not
cool.
2026.
Remember, we got this in the video.
Yeah, episode 5. Episode 5.
Episode 5. Make sure you know this because we got to remember this for next year. So there's no. It's 10:06.
I'm not worried.
Okay, we just got to make sure we know that. We got to put that out there now. $50.
I'm not worried. The Raiders drafting a quarterback next year.
Nah.
It might not be high. I ain't gonna say it's a first round quarterback.
Wait,
drafting a quarterback to build up.
Now, wait a second. We can't just
like
say
I said.
He moving the goalposts.
Yeah, the goalposts got moved. We all knew first round is what we were
when I bought
talking
Mike
about.
Penix.
First round.
You said first round.
Michael Penix was first round. All those quarterbacks you mentioned were first rounds. So you're saying first round quarterback next year.
Did I not say teams with quarterbacks draft quarterbacks in the draft?
In the first round. Yeah. You were implying first round. All you're
You want to rewind it? Show me what I said in the first round.
Honestly, he didn't say first round, but it was implied.
I never said first round, so I don't know where y'all got that from me.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, the bet's off.
Still draft the quarterbacks even if they signed one, because that's what they do. You have to still develop a quarterback when your older quarterback is on the way fucking out. You don't have to do it in the first round. We've seen this several times.
The way you implied it was that it was implied that it'll be in the first round.
You implied that this quarterback is taking over the veteran quarterbacks. Therefore, he's going to be taking the first round.
He's going to be so good. He's going to be jumping up into a top 5. Teams
that already have quarterbacks that are on the way out need to get a quarterback in-house that they can start developing before that quarterback is leaving. It's literally what I said.
Okay. I think we understand that point. I think we all agree that you definitely need a quarterback ready to go in case that quarterback doesn't get ready, especially that he's a veteran, so that you can trade him up so he's not in a situation where you don't have to get that quarterback. You have somebody ready to go and invested. We understand.
Because you
I understand that point. Remove that point. Now, going to the point that I think Alonzo are talking about here is the point that you are somewhat implying that the Steelers are going to be in trouble next year getting a quarterback because they're not going to be willing to go in a top 5, top 10 position to get the quarterback they would want next year, even though they would have enough draft capital and enough stuff. And you're saying the Raiders will be a team that will be aggressive enough to jump into the top 10, top 5 situation to evade the Steelers to get that type of player. I think that's where we're focused on here. And I don't think, they don't draft a quarterback after that. We were talking about was top 5, top 10 picks.
Let me clarify this. I'll clarify this a little bit better for you. The Raiders are going to draft one of the top 5 quarterbacks coming out. We don't know if they're all going to be in the first round. We've seen this several times. They can say it's a strong quarterback draft at the beginning of the year. We don't know if all these quarterbacks are going in the first round. But we know of the 5 quarterbacks that go first, the Raiders are going to be one of the teams that take.
Of the 5, so one of the 5th or 4th can fall to the 2nd.
Yeah, it's like they're gonna take one of the top quarterbacks. Like this year, don't have that many. There's like 2 or 3 they even talk about. And they're like after that, it's such a drop off. With a strong quarterback class, teams are going to get that second and third round quarterback that can still come in, be developed where they have enough physical traits and enough intangibles where they can build on that player with a veteran quarterback in place.
Mm-hmm.
But if you wait to where you don't have a quarterback in place and you're drafting a rookie on the spot, you're going to be in trouble if you don't have a top 5 draft pick. I'm telling you.
So you're thinking the Raiders next year, if they don't think Geno Smith is playing well enough,
if Geno starts playing like trash, they're going to draft a new quarterback. We know
they're going to draft a new quarterback, and they're willing to jump in a top 10, top 5 position and draft.
If you don't play well, they're going to be in a top 5 and top 10 position. Like, let's be real about it.
That's facts.
We see where the Raiders are at right now. That's where they're at right now. So unless Geno's about to turn that around by himself, if he don't play well, they're going to be in that same position next year.
I think he could. I don't see why not. Have you seen what they've been having at quarterback? Do you see what they have at tight end now? They got a great tight end. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. I love it. He was cooking, bro. He was helping me in fantasy. He was the only reason I had points.
He was balling last year. I ain't gonna lie to you. But it won't enough. Even though he was the best tight end last year.
Now they have a quarterback. Now they're building the right things around them now.
Yeah.
They're the pieces that you
had a receiver. Y'all forgot this?
You said what?
Devontae Adams started with the fucking Raiders. Before he got traded to the Jets, he was on the Raiders.
Okay.
Did they do anything with the nigga?
Yeah, but who's the quarterback? Gardner Minshew? Throwing him the ball?
That's what I'm saying. The quarterback's different.
Hey,
it's not
Geno and Gardner Minshew ain't that. It's not like we talking about Aaron Rodgers and Sam Darnold, man.
Okay, if that's the case, then I'm pretty sure. Come on, Kalani. Come on.
You're disrespecting Geno.
Geno is a decent quarterback. We're not gonna fucking act like he's a top 10 quarterback.
Well, I'm not saying he's a top 10 quarterback, but he's at least serviceable enough to get you into a playoff.
He's serviceable, but he's not somebody that you have as your long-term future.
Okay. So, Kalani, answer this: would you rather have Geno, Aaron Rodgers, or Russell Wilson? Between the three, who has the most value right now after last season?
I ain't gonna lie, Russell me.
Okay. I'm
still had less weapons than Geno did.
I'm still.
Is that not wrong? Who had more weapons, Russell or Geno?
Geno.
Yeah, it won't even a question. I don't even know why y'all even took this time.
Are there stats that different? All my weapons. I think about all the weapons.
Are there stats that different from last year?
Who, Geno or Russell?
I have to look it up. Do you know stats? You must know
Pretty
stats.
Pretty fucking close.
I can't say that.
Well, how you putting the nigga similar stats above the other nigga?
I don't know how similar stats. I don't see how similar. But I guess he can prove me wrong. I don't know. I know Alonzo's quick to work at it right now, but yeah, I don't know, bro. In my opinion,
I'll look up the other nigga.
Mm-mm. Who am I looking up? But yeah, man. I don't know, man. Geno, he got a little bit more youth. He can still move a little bit better than those other guys. He's still an accurate passer. I don't think he really missed a step. I just think the team just didn't play well last year. I thought it's kind of blowing it up. They don't know where to go from there. Weren't willing to pay some of their veteran guys. It just kind of felt like there wasn't nowhere to go. So,
all right. So Russell threw for 2,400 yards with the Steelers with 16 touchdowns and 5 picks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Geno threw for 4,000 yards with 21 touchdowns and 15 picks. I think Geno had a better season than Russell. But granted, he started the whole season. Russell was like fifth game or something like that. He started. But even if he did start in the game,
6 games in with a bye week in there.
Yeah, so 6 or 7 weeks. But at the same time, Geno had a 4,000-yard season and a 21 touchdown. I think Geno has more value than Russell right now with those veterans.
And he can run. Russell can't run like he used to, bro. Like, it's not like Russell Wilson of 2013. It's like 2025. It's okay. It's like he could do it, but he's not running off of like 5 dudes though. It's gonna be like maybe one dude he kind of moves out the way from, but then the next dude definitely gonna hit him. It's like, oh no.
Yeah. And I'll say
It's like-
this: like, I don't see nobody giving him a 3rd round pick for Russell or Aaron Rodgers
No,
last season or the year before. Gino, we saw what his market
third
value.
round is
3rd round
robbery.
pick. Yeah. So
I don't. Yeah.
I don't think the Raiders are too off. Like, I think they're kicking off. Like, I think I said it earlier. I think they're having a good free agency outside the Commanders and Steelers because bias reasons. Like, the Raiders ain't doing bad, you know. But like, I don't see them getting like a top 15 or being aggressive next season for a quarterback. But a 2nd round pick.
That was the only point.
That's the
I
point.
just see him going into a top 5 situation.
Yeah.
Going against the Steelers. I think it's be the Steelers and maybe 2 teams. But I can see the Steelers at home saying, "I'm going to get my quarterback," and just drafting their quarterback. You know what I'm saying? I can see that happening.
Yeah.
So that's the scenario in my head.
And also, you can't forget Kirk Cousins might become a free agent. The Falcons might cut him.
If they cut him, then boom. Okay, Kirk, can you do me
Boom.
something? Can you
That's
do
the
me
best.
something?
That's the best one right there. If he becomes a free
Oh,
agent,
that's better. That's
Boom.
better. That's an upgrade.
y'all in business. Y'all in business if y'all get Kirk because this it's clear the
Can you throw a
Falcons.
deep ball, Kirk? Can you throw a deep ball, bro?
But
Can you
do
throw
they-
down the middle?
Do they release him or I mean, I guess they have to trade him, but they could just release him.
Y'all niggas done?
Yeah. What you got, Kalani? You heard.
All right. So did you look at how much games, the difference between games, or did you forget Justin Fields started last year?
But we talked about that. TJ
We
verified.
mentioned that.
Yeah.
That's that.
So why is it that, right, in almost, 200 more pass attempts from Geno Smith, he has 5 more touchdowns and 11 more interceptions. But he had a better
rushing
season.
yards? What about his rushing?
Let me see.
What about his rushing yards? Rushing yards, rushing touchdowns.
All right, so Gino only had 2 rushing touchdowns, 272 yards. Russell had 155, 2 touchdowns. So Gino got more yards. They got the same
Wow,
amount of
that's
touchdowns.
crazy. That's
But
a
again-
little higher than I thought. That's a
Yeah.
little closer.
It's closer, but again, Gino played more games. But like, I do think Gino,
6 more games.
yeah, 6 more
I will
games.
also say though, those last 5 games from Russell were really bad. You also didn't see that part. You got to mention that. Like the
Oh,
first
no.
part,
I saw him because, like, I think one of those games you played us. We
we
watched
beat
that.
y'all.
That-
We
that-
beat
that-
you.
But he didn't have a good game, and we saw it in person.
But that was one of his best games for the season for Russell. I will give him that.
Mike Williams had his best game. That was the only
Yeah,
game he
that was a
actually
good game
gave
they
up.
had, and we saw that live next season.
But since then, what did Russell do? Like, from the
Yeah,
game we
literally.
watched, that's when we started
Literally.
watching his downfall.
Mhm.
Like, that's when he started playing bad. Like,
All right, so you're making our point.
what is Gino's excuse, though? When was his fall? He
Didn't
played
some
all
people get
16 games. He's
Didn't the running
passed-
backs get hurt? And then like the line got hurt. Like wasn't people getting hurt? And then like the team just sucked. Like it just didn't work.
I don't know if that many of the Seahawks people got hurt.
I wasn't paying attention to Seattle enough to know, but I
don't
felt
even
like
know
every
if
time
any
I
of them
watched the
niggas got
game,
hurt. I ain't gonna lie. I think they just had a bad season.
They had a bad season, but if you look at Gino's trend, like he's been consistent. 30 touchdowns, 20
Russell
touchdowns,
played better
21.
than that nigga last year, bro.
You said what?
Russell literally played better than in 6 less games. The nigga had 5 more touchdowns, 11 more interceptions.
Well, which touchdowns you looking at? Russell got 16 on mine, and Gino got
16 and
21.
5, 21 and 15.
Yep.
5 more fucking touchdowns, 11 more interceptions. What did you miss from it? Yeah,
Well,
let's
yeah,
look.
What I'm
Sorry.
saying is, if Russell played the same amount of games, though, I could see those picks being a lot higher. I could see a lot of.
Is it gonna be a Geno type? 15?
Dude, you got to understand. It wasn't getting better by the week. It was getting progressively worse. It wasn't like, oh, well, Russell, he's getting better. Like the weeks got worse. It was like no way it can get worse. It got worse. It kept getting worse, bro. Like
For him to have matched Geno's interception ratio, those last 5 games, he would have to throw at least 2 more interceptions per game.
Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. I got a little information here. Okay, in terms of
Was there another
in terms of
sign?
this drafting. Okay, I'm going back to the 2026 quarterback draft class, right? And the point we were talking about.
2026.
Yes. Okay.
Next year's?
Yes, next year's draft.
Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead.
Okay. I'm talking about in terms of the Raiders getting in the way of the Steelers getting a quarterback, and you thinking Geno Smith not playing well enough. And where my argument was, we're going to have draft capital. Here's the draft capital we're receiving due to the fact of these three players leaving. Dan Moore Jr., our left tackle who went to Tennessee, 3rd-round pick we get received. Justin Fields, even though he only played 6 games, we get a 4th-round pick for Justin Fields playing that game, those 6 games. Dante Jackson, who got traded there from the Carolina Panthers, we're getting a 6th-round pick. That was our 2nd quarterback. We're getting 3 pretty good picks out of 3 players that we only, we're going to get rid of maybe. Maybe Justin Fields, you could say, okay, we could have kept him. But, I mean, if we're losing Justin Fields and we're getting a 4th-round pick because we're losing Justin Fields, then,
Do you think, realistically, with those 3 draft compensations, if, say, you guys finish with the same record that y'all finished with under Mike Tomlin, that at least that 8-8,
yeah.
or I guess it would be like 9-8 now because we got a longer season.
They even or better.
Yeah, the fact that y'all don't
better,
ever get under 500, do you think those draft picks would even be able to be in a trade package to move up to get a quarterback that y'all feel that could start day one?
Yes. Because I could also see them saying, okay, you can take our next first from next year or a player from this team. Or like the way our team has been like moving recently, it's not the same old Steelers from 20 years ago, bro. Like they're literally
another question then. The last time you've seen a team move up from 16 or above into the top 10 without giving up multiple first-round picks. Time of the last trade you've seen that.
Hey, I don't know. We about to see, Nick.
We're about
to see. Like it's like we're gonna see like how they value it. Like we're gonna see how they value the trade. We're gonna see how they value the player. We're gonna see where they're at.
Teams have been less likely to trade back. If you've been looking at the last few seasons, teams are less likely to trade back from those top 10 picks if there's a player there that they feel is worth. Unless somebody's willing to give them multiple first rounds.
I can see the Steelers in win now mode right now saying if there's a guy that we want and we want to get him and we have the team built around this team. We have enough of a team to build around this rookie to just go on a run. I can see them sacrificing a couple first round picks. Like, I don't think you understand. Like quite literally, we're building this team for the next year. Like this team is being built for next year.
Don't worry, I'm about to walk you all through this so you can like get to the point where I'm at. Y'all, don't worry, you're gonna set in here real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
If a player is y'all feel that way about, they're solid enough to give up those picks, and they're solid enough, they're gonna start day one. Why would the other team would be willing to give up that pick or those players?
They don't need them. Maybe they don't need them because they draft or get in a different quarterback. Or get a different position. They don't feel like they're in the same position. What if they?
How many teams in the top 5 or top 10 don't be needing quarterbacks? How often?
What if it's a different team? What if it's like a team that traded for a different player from a different year has a different first round pick, and this isn't really their first round pick, and they don't really even need a quarterback. They just have a first round pick, but they know the Steelers need a quarterback, and they're willing to give up another first round pick for it. What's to say?
I don't know any teams in that position.
Huh?
I don't know any team in that position, so I can't really speak on that because there's not a single team I can think of that's in that.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. So it's like I know it's so far ahead, but like at the same time, I'm sorry. Okay, at the same time, it's like that's just what I see in like a very far hypothesis situation. In Pittsburgh, mind you, this is in Pittsburgh. This isn't going to be anywhere else. It's at Pittsburgh, and I think that's the different situation about it. So I feel kind of, as a Steeler fan, kind of like, nah, they're going to do something. Like something's going to be done that night. If they see a guy they want, they're going to get the guy they want. I don't see any night and any place at any time for the first time hosting the NFL draft. If the Steelers see a quarterback they want, I see them going and doing whatever they need to do at their house to draft their guy at home and basically get the limo to pick him up and take him home. You know what I'm saying? Like
I know they're going to want to. But I feel like y'all are in the same position the Hawks used to be. Like, I don't know if you guys remember when the Hawks were constantly in playoff contention, but they weren't good enough to close out the finals and shit when LeBron was running the East and shit like that. So they got in a position where they were good enough to where they had a decent record, would put them in the middle of the draft, but not bad enough to where they could get that impact player that changes what they need.
Well, that's where they are now with the draft. I mean,
I feel like it's going to be
Didn't
really
like
hard
that
for
for,
y'all
like,
to be
10
in a
years.
position to get a quarterback where y'all can really, without developing him, like, because that's what I was saying. Unless y'all draft a quarterback and start developing him, I don't see y'all being in a position high enough up to draft a quarterback that can just come in and step in.
Or if Mike Tomlin has his first losing season.
yeah, that
Oh,
fits
yeah.
it.
That's bro right there. He gonna win until he retires.
But what I mean, but literally, like, what's the? He's already
That's
a
a
Hall of
bias
Fame
in you.
coach. He loses one season, but the one season he loses, he ends up finding the next franchise quarterback as he retires, getting a Super Bowl. What better send off story? He loses 1 year
That
and he
would be
finds the
amazing.
next franchise quarterback for the next 20
But
years.
another
That
thing
sounds like a
too, if he
beautiful
has
story.
one losing season, I feel like the fan base is gonna turn on him, saying like, "Oh, he's over."
But they already tried to turn on him
yeah.
now.
No, listen, as long as he's a black man working for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're never going to love him.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I can understand.
Okay, like, let's be real here. Like, I guess like they're never going to love him. Like, he's literally one of the best coaches in the world, and he's still not good enough for him. Like I'm not saying like in the NFL, in the entire world, people know who Mike Tomlin is as a coach. He's one of the best to do it, and quite literally, it's still not enough. Like he's never lost. He's never had a losing season one time. You can never say he had a really, really bad year. His bad years are 8-8.
Yeah, I would say, my opinion, it might be a little biased. I ain't even a Steelers fan, but Mike Tomlin is like one of my goats. Like, I feel when you talk about coaching, there's not many that you can put in a conversation with Mike Tomlin.
Yep.
It's like there's like two or three I can think of that really could be put in that conversation with Mike Tomlin. It's like they can't even say that they never had a losing season. It's like they got losing seasons all throughout them. Like
every single year, it's like we should fire him. Like, and mind you, he didn't lose. He didn't have a losing season. We should fire Mike Tomlin. Trade Mike Tomlin. Mid-season, bro, we can hold a 6-0 win streak, right? Lose 2 games in a row. We need to fire Mike Tomlin. Every year, I'm telling you, the narrative is so annoying. It happens every year. It gets annoying. It happens every single year like clockwork.
I think it's like one of those things that's like, you probably have experienced it too, being a Lakers fan. But you know how the Lakers and Celtics, when niggas don't do good in the playoffs, bro, we be like, bro, that coach need to go. Like, he's not able to get us over the hump that we used to, because we're used to winning. Like,
facts.
And I feel like that's the same thing Mike Tomlin did.
Yeah.
It's like, you're so used to winning, and that culture of winning is so embedded in you. When you don't get to that top echelon, it'd be like, oh, you didn't even do what you were supposed to do. Like, you need to do better. Like,
true. Yeah.
Like, average is like a slap in the face when you like used to being above average for it.
Exactly, and that's the dilemma. And that's where it's just like he's held to such a high standard. You know what I'm saying? Like, what other coach is held to this high enough standard? It's where it's this hard. And bro does the most work. He literally goes to the combine. He goes to different scouting days. He goes to pro days. He goes and talks to these people. He has relationships with these people. Like, he's like not just like a coach that just yells drills, bro. Like, he's a person that cares who just so happens to coach football.
Yes. I love Mike Tomlin. Don't get me wrong.
It's never.
My love for Mike Tomlin is why I feel like y'all in that problem situation that y'all in. Like, that's my whole reason behind, because he's such a good coach. I know that you guys are still going to end up 9-8 or 10-6. So it's like y'all just gonna be put in a bad situation. It's like, so y'all coach is so good, y'all gonna be in a good situation regardless. But y'all just might not be able to get that impact play to put you to the next step.